Have you ever noticed that the moment you hand a baby something new, anything at all, a toy, a spoon, your finger, even a random piece of paper, the very first thing they do is put it straight into their mouth? Most parents laugh it off, some panic and pull it away, but almost nobody stops to ask the real question. Why does a baby who cannot even talk yet, who cannot even walk yet, instinctively know to explore the world through their mouth before anything else? What if I told you this tiny, seemingly silly habit is actually one of the most intelligent survival tools nature ever built into a human being? And that behind every little bite and every little lick, there is a hidden story about how the human brain learns to understand reality itself. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never look at a baby chewing on a toy the same way again. To understand this, we have to go back to the very beginning of human development, to the first few months of life, when a baby's body is still learning how to work. Think about it this way. An adult has 5 senses and years of experience using all of them together. Sight to judge distance, hands to judge texture, ears to judge sound. But a newborn baby has almost none of that skill yet. Their eyes cannot focus properly for the first few weeks, their hands are clumsy, their fingers curl and grip without much control. But there is one part of their body that is fully developed, fully sensitive, and ready to work from the very first day of life. And that is the mouth, the lips, the tongue, the inside of the cheeks. These areas are packed with more nerve endings than almost any other part of a baby's body at that stage, even more than their hands. So while an adult explores the world hand first, a baby explores the world mouth first. Because right now, in this exact moment of their development, the mouth is simply the most reliable tool they have. This is not a random behavior. This is biology handing a baby the only working instrument in their toolbox and saying, "Use this. This is how you will learn." Now here is where it gets emotionally interesting, because this mouth exploration is not just about curiosity. It is deeply tied to comfort and survival from the very first breath. Before a baby even opens their eyes properly, before they can recognize a face, they already know how to do one thing perfectly, and that is suck. This sucking reflex is present even before birth. Babies have been observed sucking their thumbs inside the womb months before they are even born into the world. Why would nature build this reflex so early, before a baby even needs to eat solid food? Because sucking is tied to survival itself. It is how a baby feeds, it is how a baby bonds with a parent, and it is how a baby begins to calm their own nervous system when the world feels overwhelming. Think about a newborn baby crying in a crib. The moment they find their fist or a pacifier and begin sucking, something shifts, their breathing slows down, their little body relaxes, because the simple motion sends a signal deep into their brain that says, "You are safe, you are being fed, you are okay." So when a baby later starts putting toys, blankets, and random objects into their mouth, they are not just tasting things. They are recreating that same feeling of safety and control in a world that otherwise feels big, loud, and confusing to them. This is the first surprising twist. Mouthing objects is not purely about learning what something is. It is also an emotional coping mechanism, a baby's very first way of soothing themselves when life feels like too much. But there is a second, even deeper layer to this story. And this is where psychology truly takes over from biology. Around 4 to 6 months of age, something remarkable happens inside a baby's mind. They begin to develop what psychologists call oral exploration as a primary learning stage, and this connects directly to a famous idea from developmental psychology, the theory that infants build their understanding of the world through direct physical interaction with it. Before a baby can speak a single word, before they can point, before they can even sit up on their own, they are already collecting data about the world, and their mouth becomes their first laboratory. When a baby bites down on a rubber toy versus a soft blanket versus a cold spoon, they are silently learning enormous amounts of information This one is hard, this one is soft, this one is warm, this one is cold, this one bends, this one does not. Their tiny developing brain is building an internal map of textures, temperatures, and shapes long before they have the words to describe any of it. Imagine trying to understand an entire new universe using only one sense at a time. That is essentially the challenge every baby faces, and their mouth becomes the bridge between confusion and understanding. This is why you will notice babies almost never just look at a new object. They reach for it, and the very next motion, almost automatically, is toward their mouth. Because in their world, seeing is not believing yet, tasting and feeling is believing. Now here comes the second twist, the one that surprises most parents the moment they hear it. This mouthing behavior is not a sign that something is wrong with a baby's development. In fact, psychologists say the opposite. A baby who is actively mouthing objects, exploring textures, and reacting to different sensations is showing signs of healthy, active brain development. The babies who show little to no interest in exploring objects at all are sometimes the ones parents are gently advised to keep an eye on, because exploration itself, even messy, drooly, seemingly chaotic exploration, is a signal that curiosity, attention, and sensory processing are functioning exactly as they should. So the next time a baby chews on a toy for the 5th time in 10 minutes, know that inside that small skull, an incredibly complex process of learning, memory building, and comfort seeking is happening all at once. There is also something quietly beautiful hidden in this behavior if you look closely enough, because mouthing objects is often one of the very first ways a baby begins to explore their own identity, separate from their caregiver. Watch closely and you will notice something fascinating. Babies do not only put toys and objects into their mouths, they also spend enormous amounts of time putting their own fingers, their own toes, even their own hands into their mouth, almost studying themselves the same way they study a toy. This is one of the earliest moments a baby begins to realize, in a very simple, primal way, that they exist as a separate being with a body of their own, that their hand is part of them, that their foot belongs to them, long before they ever understand the word me or I. In a strange and touching way, this small drooly habit is one of the very first steps towards self-awareness, the earliest whisper of a baby beginning to understand, this body is mine, this world is something I can touch, taste, and explore, and I am the one exploring it. And this is where the emotional realization begins to settle in, because what looks like something so small and even slightly messy to an outsider is actually one of the most profound processes a human being will ever go through. The process of learning what is real, what is safe, what is separate from you, and what belongs to you. And it all begins with something as simple as a baby putting an object into their mouth. As babies grow older, usually somewhere between 1 and 2 years old, this mouthing behavior naturally begins to fade, not because it stops mattering, but because their other senses, their hands, their eyes, their coordination, finally begin to catch up and take over the job the mouth was doing all along. Their fingers become skilled enough to feel texture without needing to bite it. Their eyes become sharp enough to judge distance and shape without needing to taste it. And slowly, the mouth quietly steps back from being the main explorer to simply being the mouth again. But here is the beautiful part. That early foundation, all those months of learning through taste, texture, and touch, never really disappear. They become part of the invisible architecture of how that child's brain understands the physical world for the rest of their life. Every time that grown child later touches fabric to feel if it is soft, or instinctively reaches out to feel the surface of something new, in some small way, they are echoing that very first stage of learning that began not with their eyes, not with their hands, but with their mouth. So the next time you see a baby, maybe your own child, a niece, a nephew, or a baby in a video online, chewing curiously on a toy, a spoon, or even the corner of a blanket, take a moment to see it differently, not as a strange or slightly gross baby habit, but as a tiny human being bravely trying to understand a massive, confusing, beautiful world using the only tool fully ready for the job, their mouth. It is not random, it is not silly. It is one of the earliest, purest forms of learning and comfort a human being ever experiences. A quiet, drooly, deeply intelligent process happening long before a single word is ever spoken. And maybe that is the most beautiful realization of all, that even before we can speak, before we can walk, before we even understand who we are already reaching out, tasting, touching, and trying to make sense of the world around us. Because curiosity, it turns out, does not wait for words. If you found this a little eye-opening, imagine what else is hiding in the quiet, tiny moments of a baby's mind. Subscribe for more Mind Seek.